Now let me just show you how tender this is. It just shreds apart. I don't even need to chop this. It just shreds apart real easily. Just shred, look at that. This is how I've been making my carnitas and my family loves it. Today we're gonna be making some carnitas. Now this is a very simple recipe that I'm gonna be showing you guys today. Lately this is how I've been making my carnitas. And all you need is just some pork. I have about 3.5 pounds of pork right here. This is pork shoulder, lemon juice and salt, and some pork lard. Now you're probably wondering why so little ingredients. Actually, I like to save my lard. And you know, when you add all kinds of different stuff to it, it adds flavor, but I noticed that it kind of goes bad quicker. So this way it's just, you know, we're cooking the meat in its own fat, and the only thing I'm really adding to it is just really salt. So to start off, we're gonna add some lemon juice to our pork, and we're gonna season with salt. Get your lemon squeezer. Dump out the juice. Okay, all the lemon is on the bottom. Make sure that we get that all coated. I think I am gonna add the rest of this second lemon. Go ahead and add in the other half. Okay, now that we got the lemon in there, let's go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit of salt on each side of these cubes. Now just season the salt to taste. Mix this up. Just season on that end. Just as so. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes just to sweat out. That way we can know that that salt is penetrating the meat. We have our cast iron pot here. We're gonna set the heat to about medium. We're gonna go ahead and add in some of our lard. Now you wanna add a good amount because we wanna get a good fry on the pork. Let's see how much that gives us. If we need a little bit more, we'll add some more. Just add a few more scoops there. I want probably about, say, a good inch of clearance from the bottom filled with lard. All right, so now that our lard has melted, we have about an inch of depth of cooking, so that way we can cook up our pork. Now we're gonna let this come to temperature to about 350 degrees. Okay, once your lard has come up to temperature, we'll add in our chunks of pork. If it doesn't cover everything, no big deal. We'll stir stuff around. So you can see we have a little bit of space here. Go ahead and give it a couple more scoops of lard. Now I did shock our temperature, so that's gonna have to come back to temp. So we're now maybe a good time to add some more lard to it, so that way we can cover it up. Just kind of move things around. Let this come back to temperature. And for the most part, it should be good. All right, we'll let that come to temp and let that lard melt and get this going. All right, now that our lard is all melted and it's coming up to temperature, we're gonna let this go for about 10 minutes once it fully comes to temperature, and then we'll stir everything around. All right, after about 10 minutes or so, we'll actually be rotating the pork. Get some of the ones on top, on the bottom. Move some of the ones on the bottom to the top. Now we're slow cooking this. It's probably roughly about 325 right now. Now that the pork is actually shrunk down a little bit, probably fit everything. Lowered the temperature a little bit. It started getting a little too high. I kind of just want to slow cook this. All right, let this go for another 10 minutes. So after about 40 minutes and you fully get all the water from the pork out of the lard, then you start to get like a nice fry. Now you can see we're starting to get some color. Now I want it a little bit darker than this. A little bit darker than this, but yeah, we're almost there. Now that all that moisture's out of there, we're gonna be frying a lot faster. All right, so our carnitas are looking good. They got a nice golden brown color. They got nicely fried up. This is the color that you want. But we're not done yet. So right now the meat is actually tough still. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be adding water. Now do keep in mind, this is lard, this is not oil. If you do this with oil, this isn't going to work. Now we're gonna be adding in about 3 cups of hot water. Okay, I'm gonna turn the temp up a little bit. Now we did shock our temperature because obviously my sink water isn't as hot as this oil here. So we're gonna let this come to temperature, and I'm gonna braise this for about anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. Now we did have a lot of cook time on that pork. Sometimes this happens, you know, quicker than other times. These aren't so big chunks of meat, so it should cook up pretty fast. So I'll check it in about 30 minutes, and then, you know, if anything, we'll let it go to about 45. But let this come to temperature, and we'll get it braising. So we have our water and lard mixture back up to temperature. As you can see, it's boiling. Now we're gonna leave this uncovered. Now that water is going to evaporate, and that's pretty much how I save my lard. All the water is gonna evaporate out of it, and it's just gonna be lard again after that, and pretty much it'll be back to frying, but our pork should be done by then. So give it about 25 to 30 minutes, and we'll check on them. All right, as you can see, all the water has evaporated, so we're back to frying. So putting the water in there kind of takes off some of the sear, so if you want to give it a little bit more color, you can do so. But our pork is done. So I'm gonna take this out, I'm gonna get it in a pan, and then we'll start making some tacos. All right, so we got a few pieces here. Now let me just show you how tender this is. It just shreds apart. I don't even need to chop this, it just shreds apart real easily. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up a few of these, and then we'll get our taco made. Just smash, just shred, look at that. This is how I've been making my carnitas, and my family loves it. Just salt, just a little bit of lemon, and just fry it up, and then braise it at the end. Don't even need to chop it, just smash it, just pulls apart really easy. But here, before we, this is the money right here. Perfectly seasoned, a little sticky on your fingers. Some really good stuff. Let's get a taco. Got a heated up tortilla. I'll add some of that carnita meat. Break it up so that way it kind of evens it out. A little bit of salsa verde. Now I have this on the channel. If you guys want this salsa recipe, I'll actually leave it at the end screen so that way you guys can see it. Becoming one of my favorite salsas. And we'll just top it with a little bit of onion and cilantro. And lastly, squeeze a lemon. That right there, folks, is my carnita tacos. Time to enjoy some fruits of labor, y'all. Cheers. If you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you see future videos just like this. Now, as always, I'll have the recipe in the video description along with the step-by-step instructions. I have these recipes along with that salsa recipe. They're really good. You should try them out. Now, y'all be beautiful, and God bless.